there's something comical about the fact that I've even had to come away and bear us. Like, that result aside for a minute, the fact that I've had to actually come out here in the streets of Santa Ponsa in the pitch black to do a match reaction is somewhat comical in itself. That is... I've had a couple of... I was taking it easy. It's last night. I'm back home tomorrow. I thought to myself, I'll fly sober. I don't want to be rough. I don't want to be rough on a flight. There's nothing worse than being rough on a flight. And that is quite genuinely... oh, get ready to clip me here, ladies and gents. Quite genuinely, maybe the worst result in our European history. I think it is. It tops the first leg embarrassment at Lincoln Red Imps all the years ago. It trumps holiday field qualifiers. There is something about Celtic in these qualifiers, shit in the bed, that just go hand in hand. And you know what? We've had a magic wee start to the season domestically. We've all been hunky-dory. We've all been happy. And people kept asking me in my videos and my streams, oh Ryan, did the board not deserve any credit? Oh Ryan, surely you've got to be happy now. And I said, hey, listen, we'll wait and see what happens, and then they'll maybe get some credit. Because why do they deserve all? Because they deserve all. We're playing, oh man, comical. Tony Ralston, Dane Murray, Luke McCowan, by the way, and all of the likes. And a Champions League qualifying away leg to the champions of Austria. And do you know what? You get what you deserve. You get exactly what you deserve. And you know what? I am stunned, right? I'm not going to lie and say like, oh, I seen it coming. I didn't see it coming. But see, as soon as they went up 2-1, bang, it was written in the stars. Written in the stars. I have no idea what was happening. From a tactical point of view, I have no idea what was happening from any other point of view. I am... I'm not stoned or nothing. I swear to you, I'm not stoned or nothing. I am genuinely mortified from what I have seen of Celtic this evening. We have a lot of work to do. We're far off where we thought we were a couple of weeks ago. This time last week, miles off it.
Celtic, absolute shambles. Let's be perfectly honest. There's nothing else to say about it, really. Absolute shambles of a club, top to bottom. We allowed the board to get away with one this summer. Now, I did question over the course of the summer why of all the Celtic organisations went quiet. Why hadn't they upped the pace? Enough of that. And don't even dare come out the woodwork after this bad result, is all I'm saying. You had your opportunities to put pressure on the board over the course of the summer, and every organisation went quiet. Wait until the new season. Wait until allowing the board to make the same mistakes again and again and again. It's been six. 2017 was the last time that we qualified for the... 2017 was the last time that we qualified for the Champions League through a playoff. 2018, we went out and qualified round 3 to AEK Athens. 2019, we went out to Cluj and qualifying round 3. 2020, we went out to Robbie Keane's old team and qualifying round 2, although he wasn't the manager then. 2021, we go out to Midtjylland and qualifying round 2. 2025, we go out to Karat Almaty, an absolute shambles of a club, Celtic are.
We fell apart, Ryan. Sometimes sleep helps you and you wake up and you kind of feel like you've been able to process it a bit more. I'm actually in a bit of shock still, 12 or so hours on from full time. I can't quite believe that we lost that tie. I mean, we totally deserved to lose that tie, but what an absolute collapse.
That's the word. Collapse, capitulation, implosion, all of these words are getting used and they're all very accurate as to what happened last night. I tweeted shortly after the game that it was the worst result in Celtic's European history, given the significance of where Celtic were at the point where they began to collapse in the game. You know, as you were saying, they were three quarters through the tie. They were up by 4 goals. You know, they were in easy streets, despite having a couple of chances. LASK having a couple of chances here and there, but when that pass happens, or that misplaced pass happens from Benjamin Negrin, it just set the wheels in motion for what was to be a calamitous 75 minutes of football for Celtic. Yeah, disastrous. Really, really. I'm in shock as well. Sleep hasn't helped. I've not had a lot of sleep after last night, I'll be honest, because I was awake for hours after the game, sort of mulling over it in my head. It's not exactly helped. Yeah, not feeling so great this morning about Celtic, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the reaction that John and Josh did last night, and John made the point about it being shocking, but also not massively surprising. And I kind of get what he means. I think I do feel a bit surprised though as well, if I'm honest. Maybe I'm wrong to feel that. Maybe I'm not been paying attention. I just thought when Callum McGregor scored that goal, not only were we going to win the tie, but I thought we were going to, absolutely batter them in the tie. It was actually, it felt ridiculous thing to say now. It felt almost too easy at that point, and even after that goal, I think I was expecting LASK to really come out from the start of the game and throw everything at us, and that just didn't happen at all. We were so comfy in that match. We even were missing a couple of chances. When you think of the one who slides in at the start from Bowers, kind of ball across goal, and who had another shot, and who had one even after we went 1-0 up. The keeper came out and kind of smothered them. And at that point, I know LASK had a couple of wee opportunities, but it just felt like everything was really comfortable and a bit too easy for us. Remarkable what happened in the second half, really. I mean, I take the point about Negrin's moment being a big one, but I thought even after that we kind of settled all right. At half time I felt fairly good about things. LASK still needed 3 goals to take it to extra time. Second half for me was a massive concern.
Celtic exit the Champions League 5-4 on aggregate after possibly, Darren, the biggest capitulation in Celtic's European history. Only once have Celtic lost a 2-legged tie with a 3-0 lead. They talked about it in commentary tonight. It was back in 1964, and obviously, as it transpires in this game, we're 4-0 up with 60 odd minutes to play. It's really difficult to process just how bad that was tonight, innit?
Just Celtic, then Celtic things in Europe. I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised. Just a total capitulation, and it probably all could have been avoided. Felt like the first domino was toppled when Negrin just made such a careless pass under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. I think it was just total complacency. I think Celtic just went into cruise control at that point, 4-0 up, thinking that ties in the bag because we've scored a goal. And then, apart from that, the first half was good, actually. I thought we actually should have scored more than one. Ho had a chance quite early on where if he was just a couple of inches taller, he would have got on it, and then he had the chance where him and Duran kind of got a 2v1 situation. He went to go himself, and it was kind of tame effort, easy for the keeper. And then we get the goal. Really good effort for Yang, good work before that, good build up. McGregor just has to keep it low and hit it, and it takes a deflection. And we're through. But no, you're a Celtic fan. You know you're not through. You know something's going to happen, and then Negrin does that, and everything just kick starts for there. I was saying, let's just get it at half time, 1 each. That's fine with me. I'm happy with that, because I'm thinking surely we can't blow this. But no, of course we do. Second half was just a total shambles, really. A total shambles for every single player on the park.
Very concerning night, very upsetting night, unbelievable night. But how can something both be so unbelievable yet not surprising at the same time? That's the conflict in my brain at the moment. I'm joined by Josh McCafferty, who was at the stadium in Linz, Austria this evening, or yesterday evening as you're watching this. Josh, where do we start? How do we make sense of what we've just witnessed there?
It's very difficult to do that, John. When I went into the stadium this evening, it was about 90 minutes before kickoff, and the whole of the LASK Ultras were situated in the standing section, and they were singing from that point up until kick-off. And from then I knew Celtic were going to be in a battle tonight. When Cal McGregor scores to make it 4-0 on aggregate, I personally still wasn't convinced that the team had it in them to really see it through. I think the warning signs with LASK and their dangers in attacking areas were evident in last week's first leg. Celtic had some brilliant individual moments and goals, but you could argue that it papered over a lot of the cracks, and that those cracks surfaced in the match last night. Celtic never really looked like doing much going forward. LASK were too good for them. They looked more up for it. They looked like a side who were full of energy and playing for their lives, really. And I think it's just, sheer and utter disbelief. Like, I was lost for words at the full-time whistle tonight that Celtic had actually chucked this away, and they're now going to be playing Europa League football, and this lanyard is going to be changed to the Europa League branding, not the Champions League branding. It's quite incredible, John. I think in terms of the history of this football club, I think throwing away a 4-goal lead in a game of such significance and a tie like this has got to go down as one of the worst results. I think in 50, 60 years' time, people will still be talking about that night in Linz.
That was shameful, absolutely embarrassing from Celtic tonight. In the Champions League qualifier away to LASK. Bloody, out of all the teams that we played over the years and lost in Champions League qualifiers to, I can accept us losing 5-1 to PSG, Bayern Munich, Manchester United. Maybe not now, but in recent, previous seasons, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. But that was absolutely shameful tonight. Martin needs to go. Showed his age tonight. I've got all the respect in the world for Martin O'Neill. But he's not got it. He's not got it for modern day football.
I'm fucking gutted. I'm stunned. I'm shocked. I'm on Mars right now, to be honest. I've been sitting here for a couple hours. It's only 4:30 in Canada. I can't even go to sleep, although I thought about it. Celtic just bottled a 4-0 lead aggregate to LASK out of the Champions League. That's it. Goodbye. See you later. Unbelievable, guys. I think I'm just actually purely in shock right now. First half, I thought we were okay. Cal McGregor scores an early goal, so you're up 4-0. Defensively, we just were shambles. Giveaway. Massive giveaway, 4-1. You go into the half and you think, okay, 4-1, come out the second half. Don't let them score early. Stick in for the 45 and you're in Champions League. Don't let them score early. Get to 60, 65 minutes at 4-1. Maybe even 4-2, right? Nah, what does Celtic do? 4-3. They let them score 2 goals inside 7-8 minutes. All of a sudden it's 64, 65th minute. It's 4-3 aggregate. And it just never stopped. LASK was all over us all half. I don't know what happened in that change room at halftime. The drop-off, first half I thought we were okay. I didn't think we were that bad. You're sitting there at 4-1 at halftime, feeling pretty confident. And somehow we just bottle it.
Everybody will get it tonight. Players, management, board. But Celtic were set up to fail the night.